Why do I feel so tired after a Talladega race that really was not that tiring? Like, it was just an average Talladega race. You know what I mean? Like,
pretty solid. It was decent.
I mean, that's not to say it's bad.
Why do you feel tired after it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just feel tired.
I mean, if we're talking about being tired of discourse, I definitely feel that. Because, good God,
yeah.
People need to get over themselves.
Lately.
I just... like, I guess it was pile on NASCAR week because of the lawsuit stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, you know, I don't know. Thought the product was fine.
Yeah.
Was it the best race ever? Was it the worst race ever? No.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't get the best race ever every week, so...
Wait,
I don't know what we're asking for. Sorry, I know. The racing doesn't just constantly improve. It's not a constant rate of improvement.
But it was
it's not always going to be good and amazing.
It was the fourth closest finish.
I know this is horrible news to hear, but, you know, sometimes... Joe, rude, okay?
The discourse is literally killing Joe.
I know. Joe's having
we'll fix this in post.
Fit. Here, we'll give him a cough drop in post.
Yeah.
I had a cough, so I guess since we're not really into it, I'm going to continue with the cold open, but change the topic entirely. I had a coughing fit getting my hair cut, like at the barber shop.
Oh, no.
And it was the most embarrassing thing ever because it's like middle of the day during a weekday because it's like, you know, I work from home, so it's like I can do those things, and it is dead quiet, and it's just me hacking up a lung and then saying, "Oh my God, man, I'm sorry," because I don't have my voice back yet. Like, I sound like I'm deranged. He's like, "Nah, dude, it's cool." I'm like, "I know it's cool, but like, I got something's wrong with it." Like, just like dying in this chair.
Well, the best part about it too is like his job is to get extremely close to your head with sharp objects. So he has to sit there and wait for you. Like, he can't just keep working.
He's just watching me while I die. I'm just like, dude, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
Like, just the weirdest things happen to me in public spaces, I swear. Like, whether it be a poop thing or that. like for example, same thing at that barber shop. Like, I take my glasses off, right, because he's cutting around on my hair, and like, you know, he's spinning me around in the barber chair, and I don't have my glasses on, and I have really bad eyesight, so like, to me, I'm just looking at the void, like a blur. But in reality, when I focus, I'm like, oh, I've been locking eyes with that child for about 4 minutes. I just couldn't really see enough to tell that I was. And so, like, now, like, when I'm getting my hair cut, I have to, like, look off into the distance, or, like, look up, like, with my, because I can't see, so I can't tell what I'm looking at. And, like, in my head, I'm not looking at anything, but the person sitting in the couch, they're like, why is this guy absolutely mean mugging me?
There's an internet historian video just called Etiquette that's like that, where they're talking about, like, what do you do when you're getting your hair cut? And they're like, because it's weird to stare at the person in the mirror, so I guess I just stare at myself the whole time. Yeah. Do I do anything else? Yeah.
I'm, like, very cognizant of things like that, of, like, the little ways that I feel like I might be perceived somehow. Like,
Joe's leaving,
especially like, and I always, Joe's gone. So I always notice it because Lauren isn't. I love her to death. She's listening right now and probably mad, but not mad, but she's like, what the heck? Because, like, when we're, like, in stores and places or whatever, like, it's not her fault, but she's just, like, wandering the aisles that are, like, full of people, like, just, like, stopping in front of people, walking in front of people pushing their carts, and I have to be like, Lauren, there's people coming.
Okay, real quick. We were in a mire at, like, midnight, and she did that.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not crazy.
And there was, like, there had to be, like, 10 other people in this mire, so think it's just a Walmart, but Midwestern Walmart.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm so glad that you're gonna back me up on that, because I was like, has anyone else ever told you that? And she was like, no. I'm like, what?
Lauren, we love you. All right.
We do, and it's probably just because like Joe, you're kind of similar. Hands. You and I are similar in that we're just like hyper aware of stuff like that. Like I'm always trying to get out of the way. Like if I'm stopped in the aisle, I'm like scraping the side of like the aisle, like on the thing, like trying to get out of everyone's way. So it's just funny. Is she texting me right now? I think she's
I'm listening to the show right now.
She's here.
It hasn't even come out yet.
She said, "I can hear you!" Exclamation point.
It's gonna be great to hear about tomorrow.
I was gonna say this is where the secret comes out that she's been our editor this whole time.
Yeah, right. Davey hasn't been doing any of the work. I wish. Well, since my coughing attack is done, welcome to the Fake Racers podcast, everyone. Hope you had a fantastic week since we last talked to you. I
need a lozenge.
I don't know if that's what I need. I have no idea.
Man has coughing fit. Cough drops?
Well, it's not like I don't know. It's a me problem. Welcome back. I'm Joe. I'm the idiot.
I'm Davey.
I'm Matthew.
And we can't thank you enough for watching, for listening. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe, follow, do all those things to help support and stay up to date with the Fake Racers podcast, because you know you want to. Because we're the best show on the web. Duh. Yeah.
Damn right.
Talladega, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. gets his 4th career NASCAR Cup Series win. The modern-day Michael Waltrip.
I'll tell you what, when you can do one thing well... When you can do one thing well, you really can just kind of coast on that, huh? Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long... If the rumors about his sponsor are true, I mean, I don't know how long he's going to be coasting.
Yeah, I mean, he did just sign a extension.
Did. Sponsor didn't.
I know, but, you know...
Just saying.
Why would they sign a contract if the team wasn't going to exist next year? That's never turned out badly.
Ricky Stenhouse has never signed a contract with the team for the following 3 seasons and not returned to that team the following season. That's never happened.
Never.
Dude, I was just watching a YouTube video about like trades in NASCAR. I wish I could remember the channel's name to give him a shout out. But I did not realize that it was literally a month after his contract extension that he got fired.
Yeah.
Well,
it wasn't even that he got fired. What it was is Roush was like, "Oh crap, we're gonna lose Chris Buescher. We like Chris Buescher." And we still like Ryan. I think Newman was the other driver over there at the time.
Yeah.
And we still like Ryan Newman, so okay.
God. Okay. Yeah, good on Stenhouse though. Great run all day, not just like a fluke thing. They had a really good car all day.
I mean, he was missing door foam, so whatever.
Yeah, that too. I was very confused why he chose the outside on the final restart, but it ended up paying off. But
I was confused when Kyle Busch made that big move, and Eric Jones just was like, "I'll chill here."
Yeah, and then
I guess it worked out.
Literally, every single person was like, "Later, bro." Not a single person jumped out of the third lane.
It was like a fast NR Superspeedway race. Yay!
Yeah, for everyone saying that the last 2 laps were gridlocked. Number one, well, I mean, yeah, they weren't really totally up to speed yet. Number two, someone tried to make it not gridlocked, and they just stayed that way. So I don't know what you wanted.
Yeah.
But it was a close finish. It was a photo finish. Yeah. My guy lost again, but that's whatever. It was a photo finish.
I think because there's been a lot of chatter about this race in particular, about how it wasn't actually that good. The 4 wide, they were saving fuel, easy peasy. That's not exciting. And number one, I think it's really silly. And number two, I think more of the a photo finish at a super speedway has like a little bit less juice than a photo finish anywhere else already. And given the fact that we've had so many this season, we're kind of spoiled, in my opinion. I think that's what's kind of happening. We're just a bit spoiled, Joe.
Also having to do with the finish, I've seen a lot of people, I don't know, I don't want to say losing their minds, but posting about the last 2 laps on board with Kyle Larson and his spotter telling him don't push the 6 to the win. I think people need to understand that what the spotter says and what the driver does are 2 different things. Because again, nobody's ever accused Kyle Larson of listening to his spotter 100% of the time. But Bozzy posted his throttle readout, and he's basically foot to the floor the entire time. So, yes, Joe.
It's not what everyone was saying when Austin Dillon's spotter just absolutely told Austin Dillon to wreck Denny Hamlin. Just saying. If they're at least being consistent. Be consistent. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
I don't think I said it on the show, but that annoyed me that people were using that as concrete evidence, because I was like, I mean, your spotter's your cheerleader at that moment. I'm not saying Austin Dillon didn't intentionally wreck him, but I don't think that means 100% that he did, And it's the same thing here, where it's we had Parker Retzlaff directly disobey what he was told at the last plate track we were at. So this isn't an unprecedented thing. And the data shows that Kyle Larson was not laying back to prevent Brad from winning. So
yeah, but he wasn't helping.
Still a lame thing to happen, regardless. I hate that. It bothered me when I note, because I did notice at one point he probably wasn't pushing as hard as he could have, because I noticed a few points in the last 2 laps when I was watching. They had that overhead view, and I could tell Larson was not shoving Brad the way he probably could have, because that's a Hendrick car, man.
Point.
It's a good car. Yeah, he did. He did. He definitely did, but also not.
Brad just decided not to pull a 2012 Brad.
Yeah, I think more so that push came a little bit later, and Brad didn't put the block on, which is why it ended up not working out.
Yeah.
On the front stretch. Which, honestly, I feel like he probably could have made that block. He had plenty of room. At the very least, take up the lane. I was surprised he didn't at least take the lane, because it wasn't going to be a last-second move. They had momentum, and there was still at least a car length.
Yeah, but, I think, he talked about it, and I think they would just end up splitting him 3 wide.
It's probably, likely.
Yeah.
So, it was more of a, hey, I'm not even going to do something that's going to... I mean, remember, he was sitting second, coming to the checkered in the spring, made a big move, and...
It's fair.
Tyler Reddick won.
Since we're talking about RFK, do we want to talk about what was on Actions Judgmental today?
I did not listen to it, but I saw the clip. I have no opinions whatsoever.
I'm not gonna come out here and be like they're cheating, because I think cheating in motorsports is cool. But for those who haven't seen it, the 6 and the 17 were both missing the extensions to their roof rails by the end of the race, which was, that's interesting. How did that get there?
And they had it at the start of the race.
Yeah.
To note, there's a picture where you can kind of see a double layer of those blades of those fins. Either implying that they were able to slide them back somehow, or maybe one got bent or damaged and was turned in on itself. Again, I'm not saying it's definitely one or the other, but I'm just saying. You got
to give them,
it's likely they're fucking with it, but
yeah, to give them the smallest amount of plausible deniability, it's not crazy to think that a team having both cars having the same mechanical failure at a same race is not completely out of the question. So, that said, they were probably up to something.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's smoke, there's fire.
Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Why do you think we're recording the episode on Monday this week?
But we talked about the finish of the race, but the way we got there with the players that we had the biggest Cup Series wreck
ever
of all time. With the big one,
28
took out
cars.
28 cars.
Oh,
not took out, but
28 cars involved.
Damaged 28 cars. Involved 28 cars.
Yeah, it didn't take all 28 out now, did it?
What an no, it didn't, because
the tow trucks had something to say about that.
That's a whole thing. Matt's gonna have something to say. Honestly, Matt, this is your new Moto minute, DVP minute. But that was a mess, by the way, and both the wreck and the tow truck situation after, mess, horrible, awful. What are we doing? It's too late in the season to change it now. I get it, but this needs to be this is top priority over whatever short track change they want to make for next season.
Joey Logano's
they
comments.
Need to take the off season and fix this.
Joey Logano's comments after getting out of the infield care center, where he was like, you could tell he was biting his tongue, trying not to say something too bad, but he was also like so mad. He's like, we need interliners, or like, he's just like, it's just a dumb freaking, Joey Loganoism here and there, but
Josh Berry's quotes after it were really good too.
Yes,
he was ultra snarky about it. Yeah. So
all right, Matt.
Okay.
I think it's your turn.
So I've obviously been on record that I hate the DVP. I think it's a pointless rule that fixes nothing and causes more problems than it solves. I understand why people are going to look at what NASCAR did, which, for those not in the know, the last 3 weeks we've had cars that were declared out of the race because they couldn't drive back to pit road because of flat tires. Today this weekend they towed like 4 guys back. We know for sure Briscoe and Chase Elliott were both towed back. I can't remember who else was. Harrison Burton was too, yeah. So, like, it's very clear this policy's broken, right? Because this, in typical NASCAR fashion, they create a rule set that fits something, and then they change the rules some other area, and that affects this part, but instead of directly addressing that, they just kind of keep slapping duct tape on it and creating stipulations of, okay, well, we'll do it this way if it's whatever. And then, owing to the controversy from the last 3 weeks, they towed a bunch of people back so they could fix their cars. I think that's a great change, right? I understand why people are frustrated that it's like, oh, well, you didn't do it last week. Right. 2 wrongs don't make a right. This was a problem. They theoretically fixed it. I think the problem is they weren't clear about the fact that they were going to change the policy. Because you have Chase Briscoe is being told by his crew, whatever you do, do not let them make you get out of the car and do not let them take the window net down. So you have like a reverse hostage situation going. Like, we need to be clear about this shit, dude. Like, just, if you're going to change the policy, which I am all for, and I am so happy that they handled this way rather than, telling Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe, get out of the car, we're not going to help you get back, because both those cars finished the race. Right? But there needs to be some sort of clarity about this. They need to make a decision and stick with it. And I don't care that it's the middle of the playoffs. I don't care that they're fixing something, because it's something that was broken that needed to be changed. They just need to, like I said 1,000 times already, just be clear about it. So it's just frustrating.
I can agree with that. Like, I get wanting to make up for the troubles that we had in Kansas with Josh Berry. I get wanting to make up for that and thinking, oh, we did something differently, we're going to do it differently here. At least I feel like there wasn't any communication about that, and it sounds like the drivers didn't know any different either, which is a huge problem. And then overall, like you said, like, they just need to communicate very clearly what they're going to change, and in my opinion, it needs to be a lot. And I feel like they should spend this offseason really turning this over and working out how to Joe's gone again. Working out how to make this rule a good rule, or if it can't be a good rule, then man, just I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially with the problems the next gen cars have, you can't really put an interliner in these tires, which is why we don't have an interliner. And the cars are so low to the ground, they just rest on the block. And what can you do about that? Like, I know they had that, they added the hydraulic, the shock thing that lifts the cars up in the rear, and that's cool. I don't think it's mandatory. It's like an optional thing that you can install if you want to.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works. Like, why? When do you decide if you want that or not? I don't know.
Yeah, and like, I don't know how much work
clear with it.
Yeah, and I don't know how much work that's going to do if you have both front tires are flat and you're stuck in the grass like Chase Briscoe was. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just a mess, and there was a whole bunch of stuff with the red flag. Like people mentioned, they lifted the red flag and then the pace car didn't start rolling, which gave everybody on pit road more time to, fix their cars and lose less time and potentially lose one less lap than they were going to. So it's just like, it's such a mess, and it doesn't need to be this complicated, because I don't understand what problems the DVP fixes. I know people talk about, oh, okay, well, like, it's going to keep wrecked cars from getting back on the track. Like, these guys are professionals. These teams, we have minimum speed for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a car is dangerously slow, the NASCAR will get them off the track. You know?
Yep.
It's just, it seems like it was a solution to, like we mentioned last time we talked about it, it's a solution to the problem that the teams created for themselves with the crash carts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's a Band-Aid, right? It's just a
lot of
Band-Aid.
things like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking. You go meta. Looking at our show sheet, it says saving Ryan Blaney.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Oh, the crash saved Ryan Blaney's playoff.
Oh yeah.
Okay, talking about the big wreck saving Blaney,
cause...
not how like I thought we were like.
Oh no.
Like feature length film action movie gonna save Ryan Blaney from.
I mean, we could.
The jaws of Penske. Okay, no, I mean, it definitely did.
From the jaws of Penske?
Ryan Blaney got saved by that big old wreck on there at the backstretch. Tell you what.
Denny Hamlin too. Hamlin was on the outside looking in until that.
Yeah, well,
Denny Hamlin.
I think he dropped
sucks.
to the back on purpose, and
Superspeedways.
it actually worked this time, unlike Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, I saw it happening when they came off pit road. He pitted with all the Toyotas, and he was like 5 or 6 car lengths back of the whole pack coming off pit road. I was like, he's not going to keep up with them. He's in trouble here.
The wreck happened before the last crash. Or before the last lap, excuse me. Ugh.
Yeah. And so, like, I was watching it on the ticker, and it was like him and Ty Gibbs were both in like 30th place, 10 seconds off the lead draft. So I think he meant to drop to the back of the pack. I don't think he meant to lose the draft
Probably
like they
didn't mean
did,
to
though.
lose it, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if there was any of their like radio transmissions that got posted online, but they were in a terrible spot up until that crash happened.
Yeah. Well, because I remember seeing someone post radio like when they got the yellow, like Denny and like his crew were like, okay, well it worked this time, which it doesn't necessarily mean they meant to drop back that far, but it does sound like they were like trying to not be in whatever wreck might happen, which it actually did this time. So.
Yeah.
Why do they always try to just big brain these races instead of just going for it? Because that's what it feels like.
I mean, race team. I kind of like that different race teams approach things a little bit differently. I like that Chris Gabehart kind of brings a really intellectual approach to how he manages his races, and I like that there are teams that are smaller, like Ricky Stenhouse, for example, who knows he has a good car and goes up there and let's make sure everyone else knows it. I like the variety. So why do they do that? I don't know, but for me personally, as a fan, I like that there are styles. You know.
Should also mention Blaney did wreck coming to the line at the end of the second stage.
He still finished 8th.
In the stage.
Oh yeah,
not the race.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, wait, what? Did I miss something?
He was done. That car was destroyed.
Yeah.
Took out Ross, who was also actually really strong.
Yesterday. Yeah, I thought Ross had the car to beat through the. Yeah.
All the fun guys.
I think if that crash doesn't happen, I think Ross is the car to beat. He was. I mean, he had no problem just driving back to the front, just over and over and over again.
Showing up when it doesn't matter.
He was very good. He really does. He was really good. Shane Van Gisbergen, shout out to him for a good run. He was up there. I think he led a couple laps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unreal. Really cool.
Him and AJ. Oh, the battle this weekend's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Do we want to talk about the discourse around this race, or did we want to save that for the end of the race discussion?
I mean, we can talk about it now.
Okay.
I don't have much more to say besides what I started with. I'm done with it. I'm honestly I'm so tired of people just complaining.
We can talk about it a little bit though.
Yeah,
I think it's absurd.
It is absurd. I tweeted about this earlier where I was like, I feel like I watched a different race because I watched so little trade secret here. I don't usually watch an entire race flag to flag. Like just the way start times work out. I usually end up missing the first stage and I just get caught up later. This is a rare race where I literally watched the whole thing flag to flag and was like absolutely in it the whole time. Awesome race, loved it, and then I went online and saw people absolutely melting down over this. And I feel like I'm losing my mind because I've never seen something so insignificant that's an over exaggeration, but like nothing significantly terrible happened in this race, and I don't understand why everybody is losing their goddamn minds over it and how we need to fix everything and throw it all in the trash. And like, okay, like we talked about this a little bit, or I think we might have hinted at it, but Jeff Gluck wrote just one of the worst articles I've ever read in my life, whinging about this race. And whinging I think is the right term, because the entire thing is phrased like just like nostalgia baiting people, and there's 2 lines at the beginning of this that I want to read that just prove how bullshit this article is, which is, I wish I didn't know modern day superspeedway racing has turned into a track position race because the next gen cars no longer can slice through the field like their predecessors could. Which is then followed by, I wish I didn't know how superspeedway racing used to be, where the most skillful drafters could artfully go from the back to the front by understanding the air better than their competitors. So he's wishing He's wishing that superspeedway racing was still the crapshoot where anybody could make moves at any time, but then he's also wishing that it was the ability to cut your way through the field and make moves was reserved for the people who truly understood superspeedway racing. Those 2 things are directly contradictory of each other, and if you're going to complain that nobody can make moves, then how did you explain people like Austin Cindric and Ross Chastain and Ricky Stenhouse and Brad Keselowski, who kept finding themselves at the front of the field every time they got shuffled back?
Ricky Stenhouse, who just won a race at Talladega from the deepest starting position this season, or in the next gen era, I think.
He started 32nd.
Yeah.
But I do not understand where these people are coming from and like what their complaints are. It's insane to me.
It's just this constant obsession with, I tweeted about this on the Fake Racers account, where like, if the racing's good, we have to kneecap it. Oh, it's artificial, it's fabricated, this isn't really actually that exciting because they wanted this to happen. They put everything in motion so that the race could play out in a certain kind of way, and it's actually not real. And then when the race is bad, it's like, time to pile on, time to really drive home that this race is bad. And it doesn't even have to be that the race was bad or good, they just kind of arbitrarily choose, one or the other. Oh, the Talladega, they were 4 wide for like 30 laps, 4x4, deep into the field at 190 miles an hour, and every single person I see like commenting on that is like, yeah, but they were saving fuel, so it's actually not impressive or cool. And I'm like, dude, like, what are we talking about? Like, you could, I can give you the fact that maybe it's not the coolest thing in the world, like it is Talladega, it's wide, but like, Jesus, man. Like, what do you want? What do you want from this? What are you looking for? Because all I see in that is just complain to complain. I don't see what do you actually want from the racing then? Because that race, in my opinion, kind of had it all. Like, I thought people could make moves and work from back to front. Like I just said, Ricky Stenhouse started 32nd. He's not the only driver who went back to front. Shane Van Gisbergen was at the front. Did he start near the front? Probably. I don't remember, but not likely. Like, it's just a pointless argument. I don't understand what they want. I don't know what they want. I'm tired of trying to figure out what they want, because they don't know what the fuck they want.
That's why I called it whinging. It's just complaining for the sake of complaining. Like, it's sensationalism, I think is the right term. Like, I genuinely don't understand what the problem with this race was, right? And it's not even to the sense of like, oh, not every race can be great. Exactly right. I still thought this was a great race. I was absolutely enthralled the entire time. It's just, we wonder why NASCAR had so many problems during the Gen 6 era and tried so many gimmicks, and then it's like, well, yeah, because nobody can figure out what they want. Because then they give you something slightly more natural, and everybody's like, no, but this is bad. It's like, okay, I don't know what you guys want then, man.
It's like everything is boring. Every new thing is boring, and if they change the boring thing, well, now it's fake.
Yeah, now it's a gimmick.
It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
Drive to Survive and its effect on humanity.
Anyway, we almost went deep in that one, but Sammy Smith, he won the Xfinity race at Talladega. I don't even really think he expected to win that race.
No.
Wow. I truly think the current Xfinity field is the worst group of drafting drivers that we have.
Why do you think Austin Hill's won so many races at Daytona?
Because he's the only competent one.
And he's not even. You put him in the Cup field, and he's just average, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be an early bottom split moment, but big shout out to Junior Motorsports. They were lined up 3, 4, 5, 6 on the final green flag run, and I don't understand how a team that is owned by the best super speedway driver of his generation, who also, along with Michael Waltrip, helped pioneer how teamwork dominates these races, can't get his drivers to work together at the end of these races. It is insane to watch them just hang each other out and backstab each other at every single chance they get, and they blow it every single time. It's so absurd to watch.
Hey, but they won.
Yeah.
They had to wreck 3 of their other cars to get there, but yeah, they won.
Trophy's a trophy, man. They don't say how many cars you wreck on the trophy.
Worst group of super speedway racers in NASCAR by far, probably in the modern era for sure. Like, they just don't know what they're doing.
It's pretty bad.
The Finger Man won the truck race and moves on to the Final Four.
I feel he got fingered. Grant and finger.
That's cool.
Shout out to Zach Webster, who was there, friend of the show. He was really excited.
Hell yeah.
He was hanging out with Grant's parents also.
What's up?
He was hanging with Grant's parents too.
Yeah, he walked out of the track with Grant's parents, which I thought was hilarious. He then proceeded to get extremely drunk before 8 p.m. and then went to bed at 8:30. I'm pretty sure it was his story, actually. So, happy for him. That was pretty cool.
First win for Oldsmobile and since what, 92?
Grant Enfinger is going to race for the title at Phoenix again. He had a heartbreaking moment last year. Thank you to Corey Haim for that. And so hopefully he can put together at least a solid run. I'm not going to vouch for him to win the championship, but it would make up for the heartbreak last year.
Hymenator.
Hymenator and Grant Enfinger.
So trucks still have 2 more races before the championship, right?
Yeah, I've got the graphic pulled up. Homestead and
Martinsville. Okay.
All right.
Pretty cool.
What a round.
Oh yeah.
Talladega, Homestead, Martinsville. That's
there.
2 out of those 3 are going to be absolute chaos. Yeah.
And then the other one is Martinsville.
Yeah.
Let's go from the shop. Some owners had some comments on the lawsuit. A lot of them were like, "Oh, I can't really talk about that," or "I'm not going to talk about that." Justin Marks.
Elton Sawyer was like, "I am not talking about that."
Jim France.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Said, "No, I'm not going to talk about that." So thanks, Jim. Denny Hamlin had some fun things to say about how, like, now it just kind of clears his head, and he can just focus on racing. And I'm like, okay. Michael Jordan had some comments about how he's invested in NASCAR and, you know, wants to shake it up. He loves it, so he wants to make it better. Kind of was the summation of it, I think.
Okay.
Is that not what you got from that?
That's what I got from it. I mean, it's you know, you're not really going to get much of anything from anyone involved, but it definitely was. It was that, and whether it be sincere, which I think it was, or, you know, a little bit of legal padding, which it also probably was, you know, it is what it is.
God,
Joe, you seem a little downtrodden today.
I'm like coughing up half of my lungs. Of course I'm downtrodden. I can barely breathe, apparently.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have lungs.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Don't gaslight me into being
I'm not
unhappy.
gaslighting you. You're just like,
this
Michael
is not
Jordan said
gaslight
stuff,
girl
and that
boss.
seems pretty okay. And then you just
Michael
hold it.
McDowell had some comments too, where he talked a lot about how Front Row Bob Jenkins has put a lot of money into the team, and how he believes that they kind of run it the as lean as you can as any other team out there. You know? I think they're just all good little tidbits for why this is coming about, and it's going to be interesting to see. I think they're going to file their injunction this week. Was what I heard, tomorrow, Tuesday the 8th.
Gotcha.
To be able to participate in the Cup Series under the new charter agreement until this litigation is complete.
Wow.
God, it just
and
dawned
there's also
on me
not
that
a...
this is going to be like a year and a half until this lawsuit is done with.
Yeah, it's going to be a constant story.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is going to go to the Supreme Court.
NASCAR and the Supreme... You know what? Goes hard. I'm down for it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
We will be live and on location if that happens.
I absolutely would love that. That'd be awesome.
Just as a joke.
I can work from home. I'll be there.
We'll just be
You
outside.
got to get one of those like microphone shrouds with the Track and Turf logo on it, so we can look official while we're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Need.
Probably
Not
get
a
yelled
want, a
at by
need.
Capitol Security, like, "Hey, you can't be here." And be like, "What? I'm just a NASCAR fan."
Mr. Jordan, I'm here with Track and Turf Media.
No, I'm press. I am press. I'll get a high vis vest. We chilling.
I could get
You
when
don't
I
need
was in
that
high
for press,
school.
but it'll at least make me look official. Sorry, go ahead.
When I was in high school, I was like the producer of the school's news show for like 2 years, and because of that, we had little press passes made so we could go pull people out of class for interviews, which we absolutely 100% abused.
Of course.
I could just wear my Del Oro News Team press pass with 15-year-old me on it. I still have it somewhere. I found it the other day. Yeah, I found it the other day.
Okay.
I don't remember where, but yeah,
That's a
I think it's in one of my
TBT.
yearbooks.
I had my first panic attack when I was doing stuff for my school's news thing because I was one of the people that was like chosen to work in there. I don't know how you got chosen to work in there. I think it was like in
It was an
at that point in
elective.
school. No, it wasn't. It was
Oh.
like if a teacher thought you were like well behaved, you had good grades, yada yada. Like,
No.
hey, you can go do this thing instead of being in class for the first 15 minutes of the day or whatever, you know. And it was fun. But then my first panic attack I ever had was when I was doing the reading on, I was in front of the camera, reading the teleprompter, and I couldn't read the words because I hadn't gotten glasses yet.
Oh,
And so
no.
I was really struggling, and there's always a midway break for whatever reason. And I remember I got up and left, and they had to put someone else in because I was panicking in the bathroom. And then the next week I had glasses.
Oh my god! I'll have to
It's a
show
good
you. I produced a little show package for when they opened the skate plaza in my hometown, and it was about the history of skateboarding and things like that. And we pulled my friend Nolan out of class, who skated at the time, and we just filmed. He's like, "Yeah, man, if I wake up and I'm feeling a shredding vibe, I'll go over to the L Town Plaza. They got some sweet ups and downs, some lefts and rights."
You haven't changed.
No.
Other news: Carson Kvapil was officially announced to be in the one for JRM next year. We already kind of knew this was happening.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we are running a little long, so let's go ahead and get into our bottom split moments from the week.
Woof. Bottom split moment. Man, there's a hurricane coming.
Yeah.
There's a hurricane coming. It's a big one. Yeah,
The sequel.
hope all my friends on the Gulf Coast of Florida are okay. Namely, Joey, friend of the show. Jesus, man. Yeah, it's a big one. Stay safe, please.
Yep. My bottom split moment of the week is Daniel Suarez. Pass-through penalty for an ejected car chief. So he loses a lap immediately. And then while he's getting lapped, he tries to jump up in line and wrecks on lap 10. And I don't think he
PJ
ever got
Gonzalez.
that lap back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And if he would have just been
yeah.
patient, he probably would have.
Yep.
Yeah, he ends up finishing 26th, one lap down. Which, minorly saved by all the cars that wrecked at the end, but still,
Not
literally
enough to
ruined
get him
their
out of a
day.
must-win situation.
Yeah.
The Roval, right?
Yep.
My bottom split moment of the week. I don't know if I should make it my road to pro. I'll make it my road to pro.
Wow.
My bottom split moment of the week goes out to the This is a toughie. There's a lot of things that this could go out to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, it was a great week. I don't have a bottom split moment this week. It's a great week.
Sure thing, man.
All
Your
right.
bottom split moment was that you don't have a bottom split moment.
My bottom split moment is the fact that I am like coughing up a lung right now.
Still. To this
And it has been miserable, and I just want to stop coughing up my lungs. And it's fine because it'll subside for like 5 hours, and then it'll come back for like 2 minutes, and then it'll subside. So it's like, am I sick? Or am I not sick? Who knows?
Hey, that was kind of like mine. I think you probably have what I had, Joe. I gave it to you.
Yeah, it sounds like what I had a few months ago, too.
Oh,
and the cough just lingered forever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It was terrible.
It's exactly. That's crazy.
Get rid of this.
I still kind of have the cough. It's been like 4 or 5 weeks.
I want it to go away. Road to Pro moment of the week. I gave the tease. Road to Pro moment goes out to the Vanderbilt Commodores for upsetting the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama
Wasn't
just
that
came
their
off
first win against a ranked team in program history?
That was their first win against an AP top 5 ranked team in program history.
That is nuts.
That was their first win against Alabama in 40 years.
That's nuts.
Granted, they didn't play Alabama every year.
That's like European soccer stats. Like, you'll hear, like, oh, this team hasn't, like, oh, Norwich hasn't beaten Manchester United since, like, 1912. Like, that's a long time. That's awesome. I love
to put it into like racing terms, Vanderbilt is the JD McDuffie of the SEC. So that's all you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So shout out Vanderbilt. Also shout out to their quarterback when he's getting interviewed post game, dropping an F-bomb on the SEC network.
Goes hard.
And also shout out to the fans for tearing down the goalpost and then carrying
yes.
it a mile through downtown and then throwing it into the river.
Downtown Nashville. Downtown Nashville.
Yeah,
too.
Nashville.
Down Broadway.
Awesome.
Dudes rock.
Also, big shout out to the Arkansas Razorbacks. They had a big upset win over Tennessee, as well. Other upsets on the night. Want to give them all their love. Washington beat Michigan, even though Michigan had no business being ranked number 10. They were, and Minnesota beat USC, who was ranked number 11. So,
Nice.
got to see a bunch of fields stormed.
Dudes rock.
I guess I'll go next. I have 2, and they're both team related. I couldn't decide. One of them, big shout out Alpha Prime Racing. All 3 cars top 15. Tommy Joe had to jump in one of the cars last minute and got a 13th place finish. So
Hell yeah.
I tip my hat. And also Team USA at the MX of Nations with 2 out of their 3 selected riders both out with injury. Cooper Webb moved down to 250s. Eli Tomac was a last minute committal to the US team, and they finished second and only lost to a Team Australia by 3 points. So big shout out there.
It's a whole lot of dudes rock, and you guys is
just guys
so
being
much
dudes.
rock. My Road to Pro moment. I decided on a whim to run the USRL Cup race. I haven't been running USRL races because I found out that running races as an admin sucks. But I decided on a whim. I was going to run Pocono. I wanted to run Pocono. Finished second. Was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I felt like Jimmy Johnson, IndyCar, Texas. I was suddenly just.
Is that why
really
you wore your
good all of a
shirt?
sudden. You're not. Yes, like, literally. I was feeling the vibes. It was awesome. It's really cool. Like, I was, there's a lot of fast guys that race at the USRL now, and the switch to iRacing. I don't really get to run or race on iRacing a lot, so it was really cool to, on top of already now I hadn't raced anything on iRacing in a month and a half or 2 months, and to come back and get a P2 off the rip felt good.
Hell yeah. Love
Rockstar.
Rockstar. Love Pocono.
Pocono's so fun.
It was awesome.
Pocono, our episode's up. Sorry, guys. Can't thank you enough for watching. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe. this week, Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series action is back on JTN for their season opener from Daytona. Go check it out Thursday night, 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Davey, what do you got going on this week?
No truck series. The Track and Turf Truck Series is off for the week before the finale, which is next week. I'll talk about it then. I don't think I'm going to race again. So, if you just want to watch some people race, the U.S. Royal Cup Series races Saturday at Chicagoland on Simtrax Broadcasting. Shout out to them for helping us over there. Other than that, who knows, man? Maybe maybe this hurricane goes crazy, I'll do a hurricane stream. Why not?
Dude,
E7H5 are on Twitch.
Matthew, what you got going on?
We got Oofsides coming up. Presumably tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this. The Cowboys beat the Steelers, so I get to be really annoying to Steven, so that'll be fun. And also, we're going to make fun of the Jets, so that'll be a good time as well.
Good. Good, because that game was awful to watch.
I love that we export all of our shittiest games to Europe. we get Giants, Panthers, and Germany later. So we're like, why don't we take the two worst teams to watch?
Jags and Bears next week.
Oh baby,
or this week. Yeah.
Are they at the? No.
They were at Tottenham this past week.
Yeah.
I think they're at Wembley next week. Hang on.
Boo! Boo!
I think they choose 3 different stadiums for the games.
Yeah,
they're at Wembley twice for the Jags. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
because the Jags play 2 games over there every year.
Yeah, and they've had a deal to play at Wembley for a while. I don't remember what the third stadium is though. Can't remember.
So, it doesn't matter. That's football. This is NASCAR and racing.
Yeah, baby.
We can't thank you guys, you folks, enough for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week on the Fake Racers Podcast.
Goodbye.